Hey, how's it going? So this is my list of the hottest bikes in 2025. These are the bikes I recommend when people ask me all the time what bike to buy. So these are my honest opinions, not sponsored, not biased at all, across a range of categories. So road and gravel, race, endurance, and more. So let's start with bike design for going racing, and there are two that stand out for me. The first one is the Canyon Aeroad, because it's a great speed focused bike. It's still very much aero and not trying to be super lightweight, although they're pretty lightweight if you go up the range. But there's a deep range of options, the CF SLX and the CFR. So good price points, and even the most expensive bike, the CFR, is £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 cheaper than a Specialized or a Trek with similar parts on it. So you are getting more bike for less money. It's also quite an adaptable bike as well. The handlebar has easy height adjustment and width adjustment, and you swap the drops for aero or regular drops if you want. And then we have the gear groove, which is quite a clever way to allow you to fit different modular accessories. So a phone mount, a computer mount, or tri-extensions if you're going duathlon or triathlon racing. So quite a versatile option. One of the few bikes that lets you easily fit tri-extensions to the carbon handlebar with no impact on the warranty. So Canyon Aeroad is a good choice if you are going racing, good value for money, great performance. And another bike you can't overlook is the Specialized Tarmac SL8. It's a very popular bike. The Tarmac has long been a very popular bike because it just works. Great performance, great handling, and the new version, the SL8, is one of the lightest bikes in the aero category, despite measuring really well in wind tunnel testing I've seen elsewhere on the internet. So you're getting all the aero benefits of an aero bike, but yet it's still lightweight. It's not a heavy porker like aero bikes often are. And the SL8, as well as offering great aero and low weight, is also very comfy as well. We have a really skinny seat post and drop rear stays, and the comfort from the bike is fantastic. Really one of the smoothest bikes in the aero category. And then their own aero handlebar stem and comfort through the front is pretty good as well. Space for up to 32mm wide tyres. Sensible details like a threaded bottom bracket as well. So you like your home maintenance, this bike is relatively easy to look after. So yeah, it's a bike that it just works really well. Specialized, they do make great bikes. As many people love to hate them, they make a good product, and the SL8 is a fantastic race bike. Now, if you're more concerned with comfort and a smooth ride and not getting beaten up on our crappy road surfaces than pure aero and low weight, then the giant Defy endurance road bike is definitely one of my favorite bikes, full stop. Just a fantastic blend of weight, stiffness, speed, and also comfort as well. It's not really the best in each criteria of testing a bike, but the best blend of all those different attributes we look for, and just rides extremely well. Whether you choose the range topping SL or the mid-range Pro or even the entry-level model, which I rode last year, linked out down below, it's a fantastic performance bike, and a bike I could happily ride to the end of my days. It just works really well. I like the fact the geometry isn't too upright and short. It's still fairly racy, but not as extreme as a road bike, and it fits the riding style I prefer to ride a bike with, and just works for me. So, and a good value for money. They have a deep range of options as well, down to 105. So plenty of options there for most budgets, and the performance really is just fantastic. If perhaps not the most exciting, desirable or premium bike out there, if you want good value for money and a no-nonsense road bike for smoothing rough roads, then the Defy is definitely worth considering. This video is proudly sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a brand new website in 2025. And building a website with Squarespace is super simple and quick as well. So if you run a bike shop, need a website for taking payments easily and quickly, you want to start blogging, sharing photos with the world, run a newsletter, online courses and classes, whatever you want to do, there's a solution for you on Squarespace. And building a website on Squarespace is easy. Anybody can do it. Either use AI, do the hard work for you, simply answer a few questions, or start with a template and customize that template with a drag and drop interface and add the tools and plugins you need to build a new website this year. And you find out how easy building a website with Squarespace is right now with a no hassle free trial linked down below in the description of this video. And if you enjoy it, then 10% off your first purchase on my website or domain with my code on screen right now. Right, back to the video. Right, next up, if you just want a good all-round road bike, you're not really interested in racing or having the most aero bike or the lightest bike in the world, just want a good, sensible road bike for blasting Sunday rides with the club or your mates or smashing Strava segments, there are two options here that I highly recommend. Firstly, the Giant TCR. Yeah, I know it's quite a boring bike. Giants still don't have the desirability of other brands or the marketing appeal of sexier brands, but the TCR, now in its 10th generation, just a solid, classic road bike that, while it's not the lightest or the most aero, just works. Just a road bike that does what you want from a road bike. Gives good performance, great handling, good comfort. It looks good, no drop rear stage as well, so very classic lines. And yeah, just an easy choice really. And Giant offer great value for money. Whether you're choosing the range topping SL with the seat mast or the Pro in the middle, which is my favorite blend of price and weight and performance, or the entry level non-Pro models, they're all great bikes. And for me, the Pro is really the sweet spot of the range, getting great value for money. Giant offer good value for money, and they have a wide network of dealers, and they make their own bikes as well, as I found out last year with a factory visit in Taiwan. But if you want more comfort and slightly more relaxed geometry, because the TCR is a race bike at heart in terms of its stack and reach ratio, but you still want a lightweight bike, then the Fiftyone Sika has been one of my favourite bikes of the last year and one I highly recommend this year. It falls into what's emerging as the all-road category, so sort of endurance bike designed to offer more comfort than a race bike through the geometry, being a bit more relaxed, not super laid back. Bigger tyre clearance, up to 40mm on this one, but still a lightweight frame. A sub 700 gram frame on this is very impressive and gives the Tarmac SL8 a run for its money. And just a fantastic ride quality. And then sensible details like a T47 bottom bracket, round seat post, external seat clamp, but up front an Aeroad one-piece handlebar and stem with internal routing. And it looks fantastic in my opinion. So that is emerging as one of my favourite bikes. That sort of space of all-road bike is really exciting for me because it reflects the riding I do. And I think if lots of people are more honest with themselves, it's a bike they will be better on than a race bike with a stack of spacers. Now, we all know that road bikes are expensive these days, don't we? And prices have gone up. But one brand arrived last year as a disruptor, and that was Rysel, the new brand from Decathlon, the French mega sports superstore where you can buy everything from a kayak to a home gym and much more in between. But Rysel is a new road halo brand, and the RCR, their first sort of lightweight aero race bike, essentially trying to be a Tarmac, arrived with much acclaim, and I was very impressed with the bike I rode in the SRAM Rival Axis trim. I think it's £4,500. I'll flash up the price here, and you see my review link down below. So very good performance for their first debut road bike, and the prices are very good as well. They're not like super cheap, but you get more bike for your money compared to other brands that are way more established, and the performance is very good too. So if you want a road bike that offers good performance for the price, then the Rysel RCR is definitely worth a look this year. Right, let's turn our attention to gravel bikes for going adventure, bike packing and gravel racing. Firstly, either the Giant Revolt or the Canyon Grizl. Two really good high performance box ticking gravel bikes that offer good value for money. Both brands offer a good range of choices, so you don't have to spend a fortune if you want a good, highly spec'd gravel bike. And they are both really good bikes. They do compare very well in terms of features, tyre clearance, other details of bike packing, geometry, fairly similar as well, and they both offer extremely good performance. If you just want a gravel bike for going gravel riding, these are both excellent options, and whichever you choose based on your brand allegiance or availability in your local area or price, you won't be disappointed by either of these options at all. And the Grizl comes with a suspension fork, but the frame isn't suspension corrected, while Giant offers a suspension corrected version of the Revolt X. And that suspension fork, if you can get over having a suspension fork on a gravel bike, offers way more comfort on long, rough rides or more capability when riding down chunky technical trails. But if you want a gravel bike for taking on burlier, rougher, more technical trails, then there are two options that stand out for me that both offer more capability when riding technical trails by taking a leaf out of the mountain bike geometry playbook, and that is the Mondraker Arid and the new Propain Terrel CF. Both are fantastic bikes for riding rough technical trails, kind of tame mountain bike trails with a slacker head angle, longer wheelbase, that long reach, short stem, wide handlebar combo, space and wide tyres, down tube storage, lots of mounts for bike packing as well. They are both suspension corrected as well, and both can fit a dropper seat post. So they are, in a way, sort of soft core mountain bikes if you don't actually want a mountain bike. So two very exciting options. If the Grizl and the Revolt are too tame for you, you want that sort of mountain bike capability without buying a mountain bike, these are two really good choices. And that Propain is amazing value for money as well, so definitely worth checking out. They sell direct, while Mondraker sells through dealers. So difference in prices, but both fantastic choices. If you want a gravel bike without spending a fortune, there are some really good value for money bikes out there. Giant and Canyon offer good value for money, but a brand that really impressed me last year, and definitely a bike I'll be recommending this year for just great value for money and low prices, is a brand new updated Boardman Adventure. The range starts from just £850, and the £2,000 model I tested offers a full carbon frame and fork with a Shimano GRX 2x group set. So definitely a bike worth looking at. I don't think it's available outside the UK though, that's the only downer on that one. And even in the UK, there's a bit of snobbery around Boardman, but if you put that snobbery to one side, the Boardman Adventure does offer a good range of prices and a lot of bike for not a lot of cash. But if you are feeling flush, you've been saving long and hard, you won the lottery or got a work bonus, there are two options I highly recommend. Firstly, the Specialized Crux, which I own. I've been riding one for the last 2 years, now updated, but the only change is to take the new Explore group set from SRAM with a new UDH dropout. They thankfully kept the external bottom bracket and the external cable routing and a nice simple round tubes, and still one of the best gravel bikes that's not really purely a gravel bike. Big tyre clearance, low weight, good geometry, just fantastic fun. A pretty versatile bike too, not the most versatile for bike packing, adventure riding, but does cross, you can race it, you can blast around the woods at a weekend, just a really good bike. And the only downside is really quite expensive, not the cheapest bike in the world, especially with that new SRAM Red Explore group set. And then the bike I would recommend if budget is not an issue for you, and the bike I would happily own as well, is the Enve Mog. It's a bike that ticks all the boxes, to use that overused cliche. Space for big tyres, down tube storage, which I think is really cool on a gravel bike, nicely tucked away in the down tube. Lots of mounts of bike packing on the fork and top tube, fender, mudguard mounts. It's aerodynamic as well, taking inspiration from the Melee race bike. Full internal routing with a two-piece handlebar and stem. And it looks fantastic as well. And it's a bike I found can be used for racing, doing long distance in comfort as well, and bike packing. So there aren't many bikes, as gravel is now sort of diversifying into race and adventure, it's still a bike that can do race and adventure really well. The only downside is not a cheap value for money option really, but that's why it's in this sort of money no limit segment of the video. Now you'll have noticed these are all carbon fibre bikes, which is fine and dandy if you want a carbon bike, but lots of people don't. So this is my favourite non-carbon metal bike option, the Fairlight Cycle Secan. And I own one, have done for the last 3 or 4 years, and now for 25 we have a brand new version 3, which looks very similar but with nice refinements to retain the formula, which is a silky smooth gravel bike, also functions well as a road bike on fat slick tyres, and all the mounts for mudguards and dynamos and long distance audax and bike packing you might want to do on it. And it looks amazing as well, and rides as amazing as it looks, and comes in some lovely colours, and it's a nice steel bike with a Reynolds 853 main triangle. And in 25 I do want to review more non-carbon bikes, titanium, aluminium for sure, and more steel bikes as well, starting with my Scarab Santa Rosa in the next few weeks. So there we go, my list of the bikes I highly and personally recommend, and bikes I would happily own and buy, and some of which I do. Let me know if you disagree, which I'm sure some of you do, or agree by dropping a comment down below. And if you want to see a roundup of the best road and gravel bikes I awarded awards to for 2024, then watch the video right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit the button right here. But that's all for today. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.